All right, boys and girls, today's date is 9/15/20. Good morning, class. Today is, help me out, Tuesday,
Tuesday.
September 15,
15,
2020.
15, 2020.
Did you practice with Google Classroom or my website for homework? Just a quick thumbs up or thumbs down, or maybe. Okay, you got time. Today we will continue practicing our full schedule with math. Ooh, I see your mouths. Reading and writing. Love, Miss Granado. And of course, do not forget your quality expectations. I did give yes, we are koalas. Yesterday, I did have to give a lot of reminders. Hopefully, I don't have to give as many reminders today. It's a new day, and I'm reminding you now. The sooner we can get through most of our things, the sooner we can get to breaks. And fingers crossed, we might be able to leave early again today. All right? So just make sure you also have your audio on, because during the lesson I'll be giving dojo points, and then sometimes you'll hear a sound that does not sound like I'm giving dojo points. There is a sound now that tells you that I'm giving warnings or I'm giving too many warnings. So hopefully we won't have to hear that sound, and then hopefully we don't hear any points getting taken away. Okay, I don't want to do that. Yesterday, we mostly also got our two koala dollars. There wasn't any assignments to turn in, but today there will be a lot of participation. And here's the tough part. There is going to be some challenges. Okay, I'm going to warn you right now. We are going to be playing with our computers and our iPads. We are going to do the testing where we switch between different websites again, okay? So we're gonna practice, we're gonna make our brains stronger. We are not going to give up, okay? And we're not gonna get super frustrated. We're gonna keep a good attitude, we're gonna be patient, and we're gonna work through it together, so that way, hopefully, our devices work, okay? Yes, Mealy. All right, koalas, today's meeting with Mojo is called Mojo Puts It All Together. So we are on Growth Mindset episode 5. Remember, growth mindset is when we are opening our brains and challenging our brains and exercising our brains and having really good attitudes and feelings about learning. Because learning, yes, we make mistakes. Learning is not always easy, but the more that we try to challenge ourselves and the more we're not giving up, we're just going to have an open and growth mindset. Okay, that's our goal. All right. Any of you think you already have a growth mindset? Let me see some hands, some thumbs. I see some sideways. Maybe you're getting there, right? Even if you don't have a growth mindset yet, I know we're building that up, okay? All right, so our question for today after Mojo's movie is, what feelings do you have when something is too hard? And then think about, is that okay to feel that way? You can also make connections with the neurons in your brain. If Mojo's having a hard time, think about a time when you've had a hard time, or think about a time in virtual learning when we've had a hard time together, okay? All right, I'm gonna mute so you can hear Mojo. All right, friends, scholar check. So looking at your targets, your goal is to participate in collaborative conversations, and you are successful when you can follow those rules. For example, I'm looking right now, I see a lot of eyes. I don't see everyone's eyes, but I see some. There we go. All right. And then you're also talking and discussing in smaller, large groups. So just like our expectations yesterday when we are looking at people in their eyes, right? Not only that, but we are responding and reacting. If we have signals, you can tell they're listening. When the speaker is talking, we are, show me with your hands, you are thinking. Yep, thinking what they're saying, right? And then we are waiting for that speaker to speak. All right, so here is our read aloud for today. This book is called Our House. This is Our House. This author is Michael Rosen, and the illustrator is Bob Graham, okay?
No,
Sophia, don't forget to mute. Thank you, ma'am. All right, oops, I didn't mean to press that. Where did the book go? All right, so in the story, Horace, Morris, and mostly Dolores, remember from yesterday? Who remembers our story from yesterday? Show me those hands. Horace, Morris, but mostly Dolores? Yeah, some of you? Good. All right. So let's see. Dr. Sales, will you check on Gianluca for me? I didn't get a response from Dad.
Sure.
Thank you. All right. And so they had fun and they played nicely together. In this story, our character is George. George does not want to let other children play with him in a house that he made out of a giant box. Okay, so let's see what happens in this story. Yes, Yair?
This is our house.
I can't see the screen.
Okay. All right, and just so you know, this reader actually has a different accent. So just really put those listening ears on. This is our house.
George was in the house. This house is mine and no one else is coming in, George said. It's not your house, George, said Lindy. It belongs to everybody. No, it doesn't, said George. This house is all for me. Lindy and Marley went for a walk over to the swings. It's not George's house, is it? Said Lindy. Of course it isn't, said Marley. Lindy and Marley looked through the window. It's not your house, George, and we're coming in. Oh, no, you're not, said George. This house isn't for girls.
Why didn't George let those children into the house with him? Did anybody hear what they said? Angel, why didn't he let those children into the house with him?
Because they're girls.
Oh, he said they were girls. Xavier, why didn't George let those children in? What did Angel just say? Did you hear what he said?
They were girls.
Because they were girls. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound like our story from yesterday? Uh-oh, what is up with, what did we learn in our story yesterday? Should you leave people out just because they're a girl or a boy? Uh-uh. Not being kind, right? All right, let's see what happens.
Freddie was walking past with his rabbity. I've come to put Rabbity to bed, said Freddie. You can't, said George. This house isn't for small people like you.
Now he won't let that boy in just because he's small. Oh my goodness, that sounds so rude.
Freddie took Rabbity for a ride in the car. Charlene and Marlene mended the front wheel. George won't let me and Rabbity in the house, said Freddie. Charlene and Marlene, Freddie and Rabbity headed straight for the house. Stop right there, said George. We're coming in to mend the fridge, said Charlene and Marlene. Oh, no, you're not, said George. This house isn't for twins.
Now he won't let them in because they're twins.
I know, that's crazy. He's just making up all these rules, isn't he?
Luther's jumbo jet landed in the house. He went to fetch it. Where do you think you're going? Said George. Flight 505 has crashed, said Luther, and I'm coming in for the rescue. Fire! Fire! E-R, E-R, E-R. You're not coming in here, said George.
Show me with your faces. How do you think those boys and girls are feeling that George is excluding them? Say exclude.
Exclude.
Yeah, show me with your face. How do you think those boys and girls are feeling?
Mad.
Oh, show me your mad face then. Ooh, there's some mad faces. There's some sad faces. Oh, that's a good one, Xavier. Like just looking down and away. Yeah, I don't want to. I'd feel kind of sad too. Oh, yeah, you too, Brylan. Kind of sad if they left you out. Yeah, he really isn't being nice, is he? Do you think, can you make a prediction? Do you think he'll eventually let them in? Does anybody think he'll let them in? Some say yes, some say no. Yeah, Brylan says yeah, maybe. Moisa says no. Let's see.
Luther radioed for help. Calling Dr. Sophie, calling Dr. Sophie. Can I help you? Said Sophie. We can't get at the plane, Doctor, said Luther. Leave it to me, said Sophie. Sophie and Luther pushed past the crowds. Make way for the doctor, said Luther. We're coming in, said Sophie. Oh, no, you're not, said George. This house isn't for people with glasses.
Now what rule did he do?
No people with glasses.
Without glasses. Gianluca, did you hear that? Yeah? Can you unmute and tell me how would you feel if someone said how would you feel if someone said you can't join or come in because of glasses?
My grandma would smack.
You'd feel really bad too? Look at us.
Come in.
Yeah, a lot of us would be left out, wouldn't we? Crazy. This kid is crazy.
Rashida had a plan. I'm going to tunnel in.
Miss Granado.
She poked her head under the house. Go away. This is my tunnel, said Rashida. Well, tunnel somewhere else, said George. This house isn't for people who like tunnels. It was getting quite noisy around the house now, and hot, and George wanted to go to the toilet. I'm going to leave my house now, said George, and no one can go in it when I'm gone. George went to the toilet.
Who can raise their hand and tell me what do you think is going to happen when George goes to the toilet? Let's see. Maylee, what do you think's going to happen? Is Maylee still here? Oh no, her device went off. Okay. All right, Sophia, what do you think's going to happen? Asa, focus. Sophia, unmute. Okay.
So they when he goes to the toilet, all of the kids are gonna get inside the house.
Okay, anybody agree? Let's see who is listening to Sophia. Based on what Sophia say, what do you think? Ah, look at those signals. Maybe. All right, let's see.
Because the God of them are lifting it up.
Oh, we can see in the text. Oh, look at the picture. Oh, there's a clue. Let's see.
Lindy, Marley, Freddie, Rabbity, Marlene, Charlene, Luther, Sophie, and Rashida went straight into the house. George came back. There was no room for George. This house isn't for people with red hair, said Charlene. George began to shout. George began to cry. George began to stamp his feet and kick the wall. Then he stopped. He looked. This house is for people with red hair, said George, and for girls and small people and twins and people who wear glasses and like tunnels.
So do you think, what did the kids do? Gianluca, what did they do?
They got in the house and George is a little mad.
Yeah, he is. Did they leave George out? Yeah. Did they do the same thing to George that George did to them? Yeah. Oh, so he must know how they feel now, right? And now what is he saying now? He got so mad, but then he changed. What is he saying now? Asa?
The right thing.
Yeah, what is the right thing?
And people in.
Ah, to let people in. Now he's saying it is for everybody like that. All right.
Because, shouted Lindy Marley, Freddie, Marlene, Charlene, Luther, Sophie and Rashida. This house is for everyone.
All right. So in the end, he said this house is for everyone. Do you think George learned his lesson? Yeah. Oh, yes. People are saying yes. So do you think that now they will be friends with him? Think about friendships. Think about our story from yesterday. Do you think it's important to share and play with your friends? Yeah. Good. So those are some things you could say when you're talking about playing with your friends or being with your friends, right? Brianna, you want to share? Or do you have a question? Okay, I'll go to you next, Yair.
You're still recording.
I am. Yes, ma'am, because I wanted the story to be seen. Thank you for letting me know. All right. Yair, you have a question?
Dad, they're gonna play with you no more.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't play with you anymore if they're going to keep you and it just exclude you, right? So that word exclude, that's something we definitely want to avoid. We never want to exclude our friends. We never want to exclude anybody for any reason. Otherwise, they won't feel very good, will they? All right. And I know you guys wouldn't do that. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at our reading mini lesson today. So I actually want to talk about this topic. It says, do your best work. Okay. So repeat after me. Do your best work.
Do you do your best work?
Excellent, guys. Thank you. All right. So we're going to be focusing on doing our best work. So here's what I want you to think about. Ooh, I love those eyes. Thank you. So focused. Emily, if you're here, make sure I can see you. When you are working independently, boys and girls, just means one by yourself. Like right now, I am independently in my room. I'm the only one here. There are things that you can do so that you can make sure you always do your best work. All right, so think about some of the things that you notice in this video. There's a little boy, it's a short video. I want you to see, what does this boy do that helps him do his best work? Okay, so watch him real quick. All right, let's see. So what does this boy do by himself to make sure that he is doing his best work? What is the boy doing? What do you notice? Brylan, what can you tell me? What is the boy doing?
He was working on his work without getting distracted.
Ooh, very nice. I love that sentence too. Boys and girls, repeat what she said. You don't have to unmute. He was working on his work without getting distracted. Thank you. That was beautiful, Brylan. So he was not getting distracted at all. So we could say he was focused, right? Wouldn't we say that he was focused and stayed on task? Ooh, those are dojo points. I wonder if some of you can earn those dojo points. Being focused, not getting distracted. Did he sit there and talk with any of those people next to him? I saw some feet. Was he talking? Oh, good. Shaking those heads. He really wasn't talking to them. He just stayed focused and he used his work. What about his materials? Can someone talk to me about how he was using his stuff? Yair?
He was using his stuff to learn.
He was using his things to learn. Was he playing with his books or his pencils?
No.
He wasn't trying to like play sword fights or toys or anything like that. And did you notice his books? Go ahead, Yair.
He or he's gonna break them.
Oh, or he could break them. Was he using his materials properly, boys and girls?
Yes.
Ah, excellent. So he really was using his materials properly, and that's something that we know to do as well. So those are all those different things that we can do to do his best work. If he had a problem, so let's pause and think here. If this little boy had a problem, what do you think he can do to help himself? Because he's working by himself. What is the best thing he can do? Right, excellent. So it looks like you guys know what you can do to do your best work. Look at that. Miss Dr. Sales is applauding, giving you guys hands up. Give some online shine to your friends. And don't worry if you did not get to share. I have you on my list. I'll make sure you have some time to share your ideas with us. All right. And so Amari, okay, I'll fix it, sweetie. Thank you. So, yep, we do have a few more minutes before, so I wanted to tell you, so what we can do is I can put your answers that you guys said into a chart, okay? We'll put your answers into a chart, and so that way we can have it here behind me in case we ever forget what it is that we can do with our best work. Because soon you guys will be doing some reading work, and sometimes by yourself or sometimes with another teacher. And if you're with Dr. Sales or some of you are with me, but then you're working by yourself and you need some help, I want to make sure you know how it is that you can do your best work. Do you think you guys are up to the challenge? Let me see those faces. Yeah? Oh, I bet you are. You've got some strong muscles in your brains. I know it. All right, go ahead, Maylee. And I know that this morning when we were talking about challenges, we said we're up for the challenge. Even if things don't work out well, the number one rule, do not give up and try to think of a different way to get your work finished. Okay? All right. So looking at my screen, that is actually next in the reading mini lesson is to find ways to solve problems when the teacher...
Question.
Interrupted. Oh my goodness. Maybe that was an accident. All right, I'm looking for hands. Let me see if there was someone that tried to ask something. Oh, Sophia, I see your hand. Thank you for raising your hand. What was your question?
I kind of feel sick.
You not feeling well, sweetie? Are you hungry? No? Okay. Well, hang in there, sweetheart. We're about to have a lunch break, and then maybe the food might help. Make sure you rest and drink lots of water too, okay? All right. Thank you for letting me know, sweetie. I hope you feel better. Hang in there. All right. So just know that it is really important to learn how to solve some of these problems on your own. And this is especially true if I'm with someone else. Asynchronous. All right. This is a fun word. You're going to learn this word, boys and girls. Say asynchronous. If you say that to a teacher, they're probably tired of hearing that word. Yeah, asynchronous. Asynchronous means that you are working on an assignment by yourself, but it's not with the teacher. It might be online work, but you're doing it by yourself without the teacher. Synchronous is like what we're doing right now. We're here together with me and we're doing the lesson with me. So synchronous and asynchronous, all right? So what are some problems that we might have? I'm going to give you a problem that we've already had. And I want to see if you guys are up to the challenge to tell me what could we do to fix it. All right, so how about this? What if my battery is going low on my laptop or my iPad? Oh my goodness. Do I need to just go, Dr. Sales, my iPad, it's going low. What could I do with Dr. Sales is reading in a group and I'm in a breakout room, she can't hear me. Violet, what could I do? What could I do to help myself and solve my problem?
you could go and get a charger and charge your device while you work.
Ah, excellent. Maybe you can go find your charger, charge it up even while you're working. Very nice, Violet. Thank you. That's a great idea. Okay, so that's one way we can solve that problem. Absolutely. So what happens? Let's say, well, we don't have to worry about the camera problem because you don't have to be on camera for asynchronous. So let's skip that problem. What about if for some reason I'm not sure where to find my work? Miss Granado said it maybe one time, two times, but then all of a sudden I forgot where to go. Where was it that she always said I can go? Who can remember? Where is it that almost all our work can be found? Anybody? Asa?
In our book box or in our other box.
Okay, well, our materials could be there, right? They could. But what about if I had an assignment that Miss Granado wanted me to click on a link somewhere? Where do you think she may have put it? Vivian?
Google Classroom.
Ooh, Google Classroom. If you're on Google Classroom, do you think you can just read the directions there first? Oh, look at all those nods. Yeah. So maybe if we go to Google Classroom, maybe we just click around, look for our week, find the assignment, read the directions. Ooh, maybe Miss Granado might be lucky enough to put some video directions on there. Can I watch video directions if I forget how to do something? Absolutely. What if I forget how to log into Clever and all that? Did Miss Granado make some videos about how to log into Clever in Google? Oh, I love all those head nods. Yes, she did. Can I go watch those before I go do my work to try and remember? Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right. So those are all so many great ideas. When we come back from lunch, we're also going to continue thinking about what could be some of those problems and what can we do to still do our best work and what we can do to help solve those problems by ourselves and independently. Now, let me tell you though, just like in our classroom, oop, I'll wait. Scholar check. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. Brianna, is it a question, sweetie? Or was it a finger? I couldn't see your fingers.
You know, like the paper that we did last time with the drawing,
Yes.
and we did the writing of it.
Yes, ma'am.
And me and my mom made a mistake because instead of born, we said bored.
That's okay. That's good of you to go back and look through it. So if here's one of those things that can happen too while you're doing your work, you may be ready to turn it in, but you're not sure if it's perfect enough or if it's ready. You can always go back and check your work too, right? So if you're not sure if it's ready to turn in, you can always go back, reread your work. That could be a problem you have. Thank you, Brianna, for bringing that up. I didn't think about that. All right, so we're going to play a quick game before we leave. This is talking about emergency or not. Say emergency.
Emergency.
Yes. Sometimes there will be emergencies. So think about like when we're in our classroom. Oop, focus, just a few more minutes. Check your bodies, check your hands. If you have materials that are not for reading right now, we need to put them away. Thank you. You can go through your things during lunch. Josiah, you ready? Thank you. Thank you. All right. So I'm going to ask if these situations are emergencies and that's when you should interrupt the teacher, or if they're not emergencies and you should not interrupt the teacher. So think about this as if we are in the classroom or in Zoom. Some of these things might happen. I hope they don't, but maybe. So let me know when is the right time to interrupt the teacher. So I'm going to need you guys to be standing up and sitting down. Okay, so you've got to be clear and show me how to do it. If it is an emergency, you're going to shoot up and stand up from your chair. Got it? Okay.
Got it.
If it is not an emergency, you're just going to sit in your chair and then just say, no. But you got to give me some kind of a signal. Okay. Ooh, I like that. Maybe just sit there and shake your head. Not an emergency. Okay. Show me what you do when it is an emergency. Show me now. Go. Okay, if it's an emergency, we got to stand up, Xavier. If it's an emergency, we got to stand up. If it is not an emergency, what do? Yep, just sit and shake your head. All right, you ready?